Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to load up our Adex or Adex Arc. We have our normal Adex handle. I have been informed that I've been saying the word Adex wrong. It is actually Adex, but I'm probably going to keep saying Adex because I like hard A's. And I'm from Ohio, and we're like really into hard A's in Ohio. So our normal handle is what we've been playing with, which is a generally smooth handle. It's pretty awesome. I have been using it for a couple of months now. It does take a bit of getting used to get used to the handle. It's a little bit thinner than the handles on some of my other clubs, but that's fine. It's just a small adaptation phase that you have to be aware of. On this club right now, we have the handle plus the spindle is 5, 10, 15, 20, 22 and a half, 25, 26.25. This is the weight that I used today, and we're gonna build up to using that weight for 30 minutes nonstop on 1 minute cycles. But we are going to start playing today with the arc handle. The arc handle is somewhere between a mace handle and a club handle. So what you can see is the arc is the same length as my 26.5. I'm unclear on how this is going to work in the long run because it is somewhere between a mace and between a club. It's like a horse cutter, which is an old Asian weapon, specifically like a Chinese weapon that you would see in Kung Fu, where you have a handle the same length as the blade. I think that we're going to be able to do a lot of innovative stuff with this moving forward, stuff that will be neither mace nor club, but we'll have to do all that stuff in another video as we explore those ideas. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna take weights off of this, we're gonna put them on the arc, and then we're gonna see if we crush our toes when we swing it. Because the length of this handle is long, we're gonna see how many weights we can get on there before we start clipping the ground. These things are a good system. A giant spindle screw that holds it in place, and then the weights just stack on and off. And then that all sets up. When the handle is empty, it takes longer to spin off the head because there's a lot more thread on there. Also makes sweet sounds. I'm not sure if you could hurt one of these things. I'm sure if you like threw it out of a plane or ran it over with a earth mover, you could probably hurt it. But other than that, I'm not sure you can hurt it. So we have little nubs, and those little nubs line up on the handle so that generally stays in place and doesn't spin when it's on there. Let's start. I think the handle is 7 pounds. If I remember correctly, it might be 6. And let's start with adding 10 pounds to it, and let's see if we crush our toes. So we are just outside of toe crushing range at this point, and that is a reasonable weight. And let's see if we can get a mill in there, boom, without clocking our deck or anything. Cool. So we have 10 pounds on there now. I mean, I am really close to crushing my toes with that thing. So pause for a minute. I'm gonna go grab our add-on weight kit and then see how we can play with this to keep it short enough to not crush our feet, but keep getting weight onto it. Okay, we have grabbed our add-on kit, which is a sleeve which fits over the weights. You can see it has the 2 little nubs there inside as well, and it has holes on top, so other weights could even be stacked on top of that. And we have the really big boy, which I think is 15 pounds. But let's unscrew our arc handle real quick, and let's add ourselves on our other weight kit. Okay, there we go. So we have added on our 5 pound sleeve, and let's see if we are gonna crush our toes or not. What do we think? That feels pretty good. Nice. So we have managed to not crush our toes and make the weight heavier. I would not make the weight any longer than this by adding more weight to it if you are going to use it as a single arm club. Because if it gets longer than that, you are going to crush your toes. But because we have all of these fun little 1.25 pound weights, we can adjust and play with this by alternating back and forth between the sleeves and the weights themselves. I'm trying to come up in my mind if I think that the Arc would be a better buy than just the handle. I think that they probably serve two separate purposes, but I'm not sure. I still have to play with them. The Arc, when it's light, is longer, which is of great benefit to people when they begin training. Having just this and doing this is not much lever. Having just an Arc handle by itself is a lot of lever for a very light weight. And then you can start putting on the very small plates in order to bump it up slowly over time. This is something for people who've had elbow injuries, people who are deconditioned and need to get back into training, or people who are older. The problem with club training has been in the past that it is not easy to get weights under 10 pounds, or the gap between 5 and 10 just didn't exist. It was either 10 pounds or nothing. And that was not great because if people had a lot of injuries, or if you're older or whatever, you needed something lighter than that. The question is, would it be better to just have the handle or to just have the Arc handle? Probably the Arc handle, because it can do a lot of stuff, but that might change if you're shorter than me, because I am 6'1", and I'm just barely clipping my feet there, and I already have pretty good control. But it's a question. We're going to keep thinking about it, and we're going to work it out. Of course, I would just tell people to buy both handles. That would be the best solution, because then you would have all the equipment that you needed. Thinking about the least economic input for the most physical training output is probably somewhere in the middle. We're going to continue to think about this. I need to find some people who are shorter than me and try and have them use the Arc and see if it works out for them, because it might not. I'd like to find somebody who's 6 foot, 5'11", 5'10", and kind of go down and see where they clip their foot with what weight, so we could figure out what we could do height-wise. The Arc still works for all of your 360s and everything else, and for your two-handed club programs, but we're not quite sure yet. Right now, the best solution is the handle and the kit. The problem is the handle gets really short. We're working on solving that problem by creating more pieces.